Hey guys, it's Gabby, long time no see. So I just got home from work and I was thinking about like what kind of videos I want to be making over the next few weeks and stuff like that, because I've been kind of out of ideas, and after my big chop video I don't really have much, I guess, hair wise I can do for you guys except show my progress, which isn't much so far. But then I thought about why not just talk about my experience with the Air Force, because my 1-year anniversary is coming up in the next few weeks, and so I thought I feel like I have enough experience now, almost hitting a year or pretty much being at a year, and I want to share that with you guys for anyone that might be thinking about joining or joining another branch, or you know, just trying to give you guys options if you feel like you don't have any. So I'm going to do this in like a 3-4 part series. I'm going to do MEPS, basic training, / Airman's Week, and then tech school, and then operational. So I'm going to do 4 videos, maybe 3. I might combine 2 of those. But yeah, I just want to do a little mini series about the Air Force, what it's all about, or just like what the experience is like getting into it. So let's get started with MEPS. The very first step you take is meeting with a recruiter. So literally just go to whatever branch you're looking into. Of course, I'm going to focus more on the Air Force for my series. So I would just go to airforce.com and I would just type in a little search bar. You can see where your nearest recruiter is, or if you could just go into Google actually and just type in Air Force recruiting, and if you have the location on, it'll just pop up whichever one's nearest you. And there are 3 different recruiters you can go to. Actually 4, I believe. You can go to an active duty recruiter, reserve recruiter, guard unit recruiter, or an officer recruiting. I'm not an officer, so I can't talk on anything officer related really. So I'm going just enlisted active duty perspective, but I have friends in the reserve and guard, and that's a good component if you want to stay home and not be fully immersed into Air Force culture, I guess, but I'll talk more about that I guess later on. But MEPS. So for recruiters, there's some good ones, there's some bad ones. I went through a few because for some reason mine kept getting like switched out and stuff, I guess because my process was over a few months. It just, recruiters came and went, but luckily I had a recruiter right down the street from me, and I could see him quite often. Some people have to drive like 2 hours to their nearest recruiting station, but hopefully that's not your case. So yeah, first step is just typing into Google your nearest recruiting session, and then making an appointment and just talking about your options. He'll talk to you, or she'll talk to you, about whether you want to go guard or reserve, which option is best for you. They'll talk about what kind of rank you're looking at getting while you're entering. So if you have, I believe, 20-ish college credits, you'll come in as an airman, which is 1 stripe. And then if you have I believe around like 50 credits, which is how much I have, or actually I have more than 50 college credits, because you guys know I was in school bouncing around doing dumb stuff. But yeah, if you have 50 credits or a degree, you can come in as an A1C, Airman First Class, which is 2 stripes. So there are some benefits to having college experience, but of course you don't need it. And also if you did JROTC, or if you did, there's one other thing that you could have done. Oh, if you sign a 6-year contract, you can come in as an A1C as well. So there's 3 different options to come in with rank: college, JROTC, and signing a longer contract. So you have options if you really don't want to come in as an Airman Basic, which is no stripes. They call it a slick sleeve. And there's nothing wrong with coming in as an Airman Basic. It just takes longer for you to gain rank. It's 6 months. And then you become an airman, which is 1 stripe, and then 10 months after that you become an A1C. So it takes quite a bit longer for you to gain rank, and of course get more money as you go up in the ranking classification. So at your recruiting station, he'll talk to you about what job is best for you. He'll talk about taking the ASVAB. The ASVAB is a test that you take at MEPS to determine what you would best be suited in to, you know, do the Air Force mission, which is mechanical, general, administrative, and I believe there's one more category. I'll list it down below. The recruiter will first try to get you just a feel for what kind of contract you're looking to sign, and also what job you're looking at possibly getting. So he'll ask you what kind of jobs you want, and then he'll tell you what you need to score on the ASVAB to get that job. The lowest score you can get on the ASVAB is a 36 in the Air Force, and you know, the way that jobs are set up is like the higher your ASVAB score, probably the more complex the job is. And then the lower the score, the less complex the job tends to be, is how I was told the like classification system goes. So while you may score 36, which is, you know, able to get you in, you are limited in what jobs you can get with that score. So just keep that in mind when you're studying for the ASVAB. He'll give you a practice test, or she'll give you a little practice test or whatever, or you might just take it a few times to get the score that you want for the job that you want. And I would really research the kind of jobs that the Air Force can provide for you, because for me, you know, no job is guaranteed. Even when you sign the contract and that's the job that's on that contract, they can give you a new job during basic training, they can give you a new job during tech school, so no job is really guaranteed until you're in that job operational. So that's just a little tip, because no one told me that, and I was reclassed twice, so yikes. So for the ASVAB, there's really not that much difficulty with it, especially if you're straight out of high school. You're pretty, you know, familiar with like math and science and things like that, so that stuff is still fresh in your brain, so it makes it easier for you to take the test, I think. I don't know, I guess it just depends what you're good in, and the ASVAB test will tell you what you're best suited for. So like, I scored highest in the administrative section, and so they just tried to put me in like administrative jobs, but you're not, you know, just subject to that section just because you scored highest in that one, but they do tend to like look at that. So if you scored the highest in like the mechanical section of the ASVAB, they're gonna try and push you towards a mechanical job, because obviously you're good at that, and like, why would they want to put you in like, I don't know, a science job or like an administrative job when you're really good at, you know, mechanics and doing other stuff like on airplanes possibly. So they try to do stuff that you're interested in, but also that they think would best suit the Air Force. So during that whole process of taking the ASVAB and stuff, you also are going to go to MEPS for other stuff. Yes, you go to MEPS for the ASVAB, but you also do a whole physical at MEPS. It takes forever. You get there at like 6 a.m. and you're there until like 3 or 4 p.m. sometimes. It can take all day. So clear your schedule for whenever your recruiter sends you to MEPS. They tend to put you in a hotel overnight. So like, let's say, I don't know, today's Monday and my MEPS thing is tomorrow. So they would put me in a hotel tonight so that they can just bus me over to MEPS from the hotel they put me at. And then that way they can guarantee that I get there and that I'm not going to miss my appointment and that I'm not going to be like a problem and all that stuff like that, like providing my own transportation. So they'll put you in a hotel overnight with a bunch of other people too. They're doing the same thing as you, for different branches sometimes as well. They're not just going to be with Air Force people doing MEPS. MEPS has every branch. And the girl that I got put in a hotel with was also doing Air Force. But the first time that I went to MEPS, the girl was doing Army, and she was leaving like the next week, I believe. So she was going like really quickly through her process. But for me, the first time I got an Army girl, second time I got an Air Force girl, and the second time was my final time, and that's the day that I like left for BMT. But at MEPS, they just basically, they check your ears, they check your private parts, they check just everything, your vitals, and they do pregnancy tests, and they do drug tests, and all that stuff. So, of course, before you go to MEPS, don't do drugs, because that'll disqualify you. Don't be pregnant, because you won't be able to go to basic training, obviously. You cannot do drugs, you cannot be pregnant, you cannot, I don't know, have just had surgery or anything like that, because they want to make sure you're in the best possible condition to go through these 8.5 weeks that you're going to go through. So they're going to probably test you a lot. They check your spine, they make you bend over and do all these other things to make sure you're like, you know, joints are all good, and now you can do physical stuff. And you can get a waiver for some things. So let's say you just had surgery and there's like a big scar here or something like that. You can get a scar waiver. You can get like a waiver for pretty much anything, at least Air Force wise. So don't be too discouraged if you feel like, oh, I feel like I'm going to get disqualified for this. You don't know until you go, or you can ask your recruiter, I guess. You don't have to waste your time at MEPS, but you won't know for sure until you go what you're going to be disqualified for or what you think might not let you enlist. So just go and, you know, hope for the best. Sometimes they may think you have scoliosis, they'll check you again, and then they find out you don't. So then you're off the hook. It just depends who's doing your like tests that day and stuff, but it's all just hit or miss. So then after MEPS, they'll say you're good to go, you're medically cleared and all that stuff, and then either you'll ship out either that next day or that next week, or whenever you're ready to ship out, they'll ship you out. For me, I was in the DEP program, which is delayed enlistment, because I was in college. I don't know if you guys remember my vlogs and stuff from when I was thinking about joining and doing the whole process, but I was in my spring semester of college, and so they delayed my enlistment a few months because I wanted to wait until the semester was over. I didn't want to just like drop out right there after I paid for all these classes. So I said, it was January, and I was like, hey, I'm gonna wait until May to ship out because that's when my semester ends. And so come May, of course, I was shipped out May 15th or May 16th, 2017. And so yeah, that's when I went to BMT. And then I spent 8.5 weeks there in San Antonio, Texas at Lackland Air Force Base. And it was hot. So that's pretty much the whole first step in joining, is just finding a recruiter, talking about jobs, knowing what kind of jobs you want, or at least having an idea of what kind of jobs you want to have. There's a lot of things to consider when you're thinking about the job that you want. Tech school is a very good thing to look out for. Tech schools can range from 30 days to 8 months, a year and a half. There are tech schools that are just super long, some are super short. People hate you because you get out of tech school super fast and get to go operational. So just make sure you look into whatever job you are looking into, see how long the tech school is, what the dropout rate is for that, like how many people actually make it through the technical training of that job that you're looking at. Also look into what kind of credits they'll give you, because you get college credits for whatever job you choose. So just want to look into that, because you can get your associates through the Air Force. And so if you get credits for, let's say, your aircraft maintenance, and you get credits towards, I don't know, engineering of airplanes. I'm not sure what they get for credit-wise, but you just want to look at what you can get, because, of course, if you're here for education, then you want to look into how this will help progress your degree. So I hope my thoughts were organized enough for you guys. I know I'm kind of all over the place. My other videos will be more organized because I have like a whole notebook about what I want to say about each one. So my basic training and my tech school and my operational notes will be a lot better. So sorry for the jumbledness of this video, but I hope you guys got the overall picture. And if you have more questions, of course, just ask a recruiter or leave a comment down below, because maybe me or someone else in the service can help you. But that's pretty much all for today's video. Hope you guys enjoyed, and I hope it was informative enough. But I will see you guys in the next video to talk about basic training. Bye guys!